Hello everybody, I am Asir. Today I have some pre-made video playing in the background while I wanted to explain some things. Um, this entire video is going to be dedicated to a little testing I was doing with trying to make a motion path work in Panda. And what I found out is that I don't really tend to like the standard option. So if you didn't know, um, in Blender you have the ability to make something called a NURBS curve, and what this is a structure that you can use to make paths that have curves in them. But while I was trying to make a path that I thought was simple, it's pretty difficult for me to make something without a lot of features or functionality in it, because I was just looking for something that um, would just be a path that something could follow. But a problem with NURBS curves is that you have to do a lot of um, editing, or maybe you just have to have a lot of understanding of how they work in order to just make a straight line. It's not very um, simple. So um, this is an example of how to make a line that doesn't have any curves in it. And things like this are just what I would want to use to have something follow a path in a game. So if I use a player and I don't want to move a player just using a way to set its position, I can use an actor and have it follow a path. In this situation, I'm kind of using the idea that the path that I set up isn't going to be the actual actor that is displayed in the game, but actually a actor that something else will be put on top of, so that it follows the path that this skeleton kind of has. All this isn't really what you would expect to do to be able to make a path, but to be able to make a path for Panda with just vertices, I'm not sure if you're able to have something just follow a curve. Things like armatures and like the selected bone that's on the screen here, they're kind of necessary to have things be animated sometimes. And without really that much work, it seems like right here they just had to have the armature be set up and have the cube also be in the direct or in a similar position to relative to wherever the bone is, whether that be like it's parented to it, or it's in a slightly different position, because there are situations where I was trying to do this before, and if you don't really pay attention to the location of where the objects are or where the armatures are, you can have things be offset from actually being on the path, so it doesn't end up looking that right. But making the path itself to have something follow isn't very difficult. You just need to have an armature following something in pose mode, and then that modifier will just have whatever's connected to the armature follow it along. And it looks like I was doing that again right about now. And that's about right. Suppose that is the basic idea of what's happening here. To make the path, you just need to have some kind of object that you can extend vertices in. And it seems like Blender was able to figure out where the start of the path was and where the end of the path is just because it's a straight line. I'm assuming if it was a shape, it might be, might not work. So at this point in this recording, it looks like I'm going to take the path and the skeleton for displaying or rendering things on, and I'm going to make a program out of that. Panda does also have an ability to do things like this already built in without having to set up a path and a skeleton that would use it. Like my approach here. Its inbuilt feature is called a motion path, and it's under the intervals section in the manual. And it seems like that's just an easy way to have something follow a curved path, but I wanted to do something just like this, where it's just something that follows a path and there's not really that much else to add to it. Don't really want to think about curves or handles or extruding something just so it has the kind of right angle of curve. Maybe I don't know too much about curves, but I guess this was something that worked, or that worked enough for it to feel like it was worth doing. And also, if you want your object to follow the rotation of the curve that you made, I believe that's what the follow curve option does in the modifier that Blender gives you. So to export this kind of setup with the manual path, you can export something as a Panda3D egg file with the Yabby egg exporter. Say it's the Panda exporter that seems to be used for everything. Here's an example of it, kind of on screen right now. Seems like it works up to Blender version 2.79, which is the one that is being used in this video. But after that, there are other approaches for how to export Panda actors and animated things from Blender. But it seems like a lot of Panda's tools are just kind of set up to be used from Maya, which is the other 3D modeler that isn't free, so I don't really have the ability to use that. So what's happening here, I guess? I did set up this file beforehand to have sort of a setup that I could use, but I don't actually use everything that's imported here. I don't actually use the Panda built-in motion paths anywhere. Just use the actor class, and then I loop whatever model I gave the name to in Blender, and then I can use that model and the position of whatever the animation is at any time to have something be displayed on top of it. But to kind of export this, the modifier for having something follow a path isn't really a animation or a model or an action, not a model. In Blender, there's this way of having animations be part of an armature, but following the path is just something that's displayed in the scene or the 3D viewport, it seems like. So in order to export that, earlier I just specified the start frame and the end frame that the animation is playing in, and then that's how I got the animation from Blender into Panda. If you don't give the export options the idea that you want to have something associated with the specific range of frames, then it's not going to really export any animation. There's the action to export all actions as animations, but that won't do anything. So you have to manually add something with a name, and then that will export the animation. I believe coming up here in about 2 minutes, I stop recording for a second to kind of give myself a recheck of everything that I've done to see if it works, but it actually already ends up working by the end of this anyway, so that's good. Right, about now I messed up in setting up the actor, but the animation name and the file names I believe are, the animation name is the first name in the dictionary in the actor class that's being loaded, and then whatever the name of the file is the second one. It's kind of a bit of variation on how you can export animations into Panda. You can have something in separate files or just one singular file. And in the case of having just one file with the model and the animation, I could probably just load the actual egg file into the actor without the additional dictionary and then play the animation without really having to tell Panda what the animations and what the names are. I think. Not entirely sure if that's how that works. So looks like this is where the video stops. So there's a secondary video that I'm comes after this. And this is just continuing less than a minute after I paused it. And at this point it kind of looks like everything that I was doing was kind of working. So I used the skeleton of what I made and reparented something to the actor. And you'll see that soon, I guess. But yeah, this is just the idea of having something in the game be able to follow a path, and having that just be a really simple, linear, straightforward line, which I can appreciate because I don't have to really understand how things like NURBS curves work, even though that does seem like it's the common common technique on how to have things follow some path. At this point, it looks like right. I believe I loaded the actor, and I believe I loaded the egg file as an actor, and I also loaded the same egg file as just a model, because you do have the ability to do that. And then I just reparented the model of the animated egg file to the actual type that is the animated actor. But I did not really remember the class to have 3 values put together. It's actually vec3, but seems like I didn't figure that out yet. In a minute, this line will be correct. And then you'll kind of see over on the right side where the white square is, there'll be a green square on top of it. And that will kind of just be the end of this, the end of the idea that I'm trying to show here. And yeah, it's a cool idea, and I hope this can kind of be used in some respect for someone somewhere. But yeah, I believe that's all I really have to say for this. So enjoy the rest of the video, and thank you for watching.